The Islamic Center of Tennessee presents.
The last part we said is making up a missing prayer, right? This happens to the best of us. We try our best to pray on time, but then a salah comes and we might miss it. Let's talk about accidentally missing a salah and intentionally missing a salah. Accidentally missing a salah, you're still okay. What's an accidental reason? You accidentally slept through a salah. The key word being accidentally. Okay? Going to sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning and then saying that I'm going to wake up in 30 minutes or an hour, and you didn't accidentally sleep through it, you didn't prepare for it. You have to prepare for these things. You know you have work in the morning, you sleep early so you can get up to work. You have prayer, especially for the man, since you hit the age of puberty. It's now officially obligatory on you, and you can never stop praying until you die. You don't get a break, never. You got to pray forever, till you die. With the ladies, during a monthly cycle, she don't have to pray for 7 days, where she can sleep through. She can even sleep and then push her husband out of the bed. Go pray. Get out of here. Go. You know what you're supposed to do? Put the blanket. Yeah. This is really how you do ta'awun al-birr wa taqwa. You guys want to help each other in good? Even if you are not praying, you can still help your loved ones by waking them up for salah. It's just as important, because it keeps the house and it keeps the Muslim environment intact. Just because that person's feeling lazy, it's not an excuse for both of you to miss it, right? Somebody's got to actually have a little bit extra faith on that day or that morning and then say, you go and do it. Or you start and I'll come. Or if she has an excuse, then you go and pray. Even if you're sick, and let's say you're sick and you can't even make wudu because it'll make you even more sick, you still don't have an excuse. You go make tayammum. You guys know what tayammum is? If you're extremely sick and you can't move, you're like, I can't make it to the wudu area, you still make tayammum. You go and you, wash your hands, or wipe your hands, wipe your face, and then you pray. If you're too sick to pray standing, pray sitting. You're too sick to pray sitting, pray on your side. For a man, you have one excuse: dead. That's it. You died, something happened to you. No more prayer. Okay. That's for the accidental one. Another accidental is that you forget. Right? You forgot. You sincerely forgot. You didn't know what was happening. You were so busy. You were having too much fun, or you were making too much money. Whatever the case was, you were happy, or you were maybe extremely sad. Actually, you know what's funny? When you're really sad, you always remember Allah. So if you forgot, then the time for prayer is when you remember it. Right when you remember it. Now let's go to unintentional. Or I'm sorry, you intentionally missed your prayer. You seen it was 2:30, and this is Asr time, and then guess what happened? You said, no, we still have time. 3:30 comes around, you said, of the movie. So you decide, I'm going to still stay. I'm going to still watch. And guess what happens? It's 4:30 now. Right? Now, I don't want to bring up many opinions. I don't want to say there's difference of opinion, because I want you to go away with the best opinion that is going to be beneficial for you. Okay? And I believe that the best one for you is if you intentionally, and remember there's another saying to this, but if you intentionally miss a salah and you don't make it up, or you intentionally miss a salah, the majority of scholars say you can make it up. But I believe the most sound one is that if you intentionally missed it, you don't get the privilege to make it up. You don't get the privilege to make it up if you intentionally make up or miss the salah. The reason being is because there's a lot of evidences for both sides, right? But the reason being, I believe, is because that if there's a specific time to do a certain action and you don't do it within that time, you don't have a valid excuse, you can't make it up. Similar to Hajj. Hajj has a certain time, right? Hajj has a certain time that you're supposed to pray it in, or you're supposed to make it in. If you said, I'm going to intentionally leave Hajj time, correct? And then after the Hajj time comes, you say, I want to make Hajj now, in January, and it's supposed to have come in November, for example. No, you can't do that. Or, if you wanted to pray Fajr during Maghrib time for no valid reason, you just said, I'm going to pray Fajr because I'm going to sleep all night. And I'm going to only wake up at Dhuhr, so I'm just going to pray Fajr now. What is that? I'm going to chew qat. See, but only Yemenis understand that reference. And Somalis. Okay? Don't look at you. But regardless, be very cautious on your salah. Unless you have an excuse, you can pray it in a different, outside of its time. But be very cautious that it doesn't leave its time without you having a valid excuse. If it does happen, make tawbah to Allah. And if you believe the other saying is more correct, still offer your salah, right? But make tawbah and seek repentance because you've done a great major sin by leaving it out outside of its time. All right? Lastly, how do you make up a salah that you accidentally forgot? And this will be the last thing we take because it's probably Maghrib time already. You missed Asr. And I know this is going to be a question that's always asked. You missed Asr, you forgot. It's 4:30, right? Maghrib time comes in. Which one do you pray first? If you're at home, you pray Asr, because you have to maintain the order. But let's say you came to the masjid and then you said, they're praying Maghrib now, I haven't prayed Asr, right? Here, you pray whatever the congregation is praying. You pray whatever the congregation is praying, and then you pray your Asr prayer. So basically, if there's still time for the prayer, pray the one that came first. Dhuhr time. You missed Dhuhr, right? And Asr time is also close to Maghrib now. Which one do you pray? Huh? What about if Dhuhr time is already gone, because Maghrib is already almost coming in, correct? Which means you miss Asr also. But now Asr is right there. There's still a little bit of time to pray Asr. So pray your Asr before the time comes in. Then if you're in congregation, you pray your Maghrib. Then you make up your Dhuhr. That's if the timing is squeezed. But normally you maintain the order unless the timing is squeezed. Like meaning there's not enough time. And like we said before, we tried to keep everything short and minimized because of the time, or actually there's so much and so many different scenarios that we can talk about. Now, huh? Combination? This usually happens with maybe like a traveler. Like with a traveler, like they're praying Isha and he's praying Maghrib, for example, correct? He's praying Maghrib and he stays seated until they get to the fourth rak'ah, right? Then he makes salam with them on the fourth rak'ah, but it's really his third. That's usually with a traveler. But in regards to making up a salah, he should pray whatever they're praying. And like there's a lot of different sayings, but this is what I believe is the most accurate, is pray whatever they're praying and then make up the salah afterwards.
What about, especially this time, winter times, there is no gap between, you have, for instance, you have an appointment somewhere or shopping around, you pray as right away reach Maghrib, you don't have no space to pray.
Yeah.
So what about if you avoid that time and go back home and pray, whatever time you get?
Like let's say you want to pray Asr. I mean you've prayed Asr, but you have an appointment at 4 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
You have an appointment at 4 o'clock and Maghrib is 4:20. By the time you finish your appointment, it's 5:30, which means that there's 10 minutes before Isha. Okay? If you cannot pray, I'm pretty sure that you can find, if you're not comfortable praying in front of anybody, you can still find a nice area that you can pray in. because there's always a place you can pray. You can pray next to a tree, you can pray in a parking lot, you can pray anywhere. You just got to really push yourself to do it. It's a hard thing to do, but once you really want to do it, you'll find a way to pray it. Yeah. You'd even be surprised that this happened to me in the emergency room. I took my wife once to the emergency room, and what happened was we were waiting for the doctor to come in, right? And when you go to the emergency room, especially this Vanderbilt one, it's probably the worst thing you can ever do, because they'll keep you in there for hours. Yeah, they'll keep you in there for a long time. So as I'm waiting in the emergency room, I went straight to the clerk lady, and I said to her, I need to offer my prayer. So if the doctor comes while I'm praying, I'll be in the room. We'll be in the room, but I'm going to offer my salah. And sure enough, I'm praying my salah, and the doctor comes in, sees I'm doing some strange motions, and leaves, then comes back again. And it was okay. It wasn't a problem. You know, actually they respect you more if you do that. So it's very possible, just be upfront with somebody that you're going to offer your salah. You're going to be okay. I remember even, again, this happened to me on the airplane, and I didn't want the guy to freak out next to me. I said, look, I need to pray. Do you need to go to the restroom or anything? Because I was on the aisle seat. I said, I'm going to pray right here in my seat, and you're going to see me moving up and down. I'm not reaching for a pillow underneath my shorts. I don't have anything in my shoes. I'm just going to be moving in this motion to praise. And I made, I told him, this is what I'm going to do. He said, actually, you know what? He was Christian. He goes, I'm going to pray with you. And he did this, and he started praying. Wallah, that's a true story. That's what he did. He went like this, and he started praying. And I was praying next to him like this. So it's... In this case, yeah, it's not going to matter. And we'll take that with the traveler prayer tomorrow, inshallah. So you just got to really become comfortable with what you're doing, and you'll find a way for it, inshallah. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah, He will make a way out for him.